Hey folks, welcome back to our continuing coverage of GAMA Trade Show in Reno, Nevada 2018. I am here, I'm Sam Healy with Robert Doherty from White Wizard Games, and he has some goodies to show us that are on the horizon and currently probably maybe, I don't know, I have no idea what I'm talking about. so he's going to help me out here.
So we had a Kickstarter last summer for Star Realms Frontiers, a new set for Star Realms, and we showed that off on previous things on the Dice Tower. But we had some awesome accessories and expansion packs in there. Now everything's done, everything's at the printer getting created. I have this is a factory copy of the Universal Storage Box. So Star Realms, as you know, very small, very portable game, but there's lots of expansion for it. And one of the things that we heard most frequently from our customers is, man, I would love a big, sturdy box to carry everything Star Realms in one place. So this is one of the add-ons that we had available for it. And this is my copy, and I carry this around a lot. We've brought it back and forth to the office and the shows and whatever.
Really?
And it's very, it's very sturdy. It's held up very well. And inside, I have the entire Star Realms collection. I have the base set and Colony Wars, all the different expansion packs. This section is Frontiers, and all the expansion packs that come in Frontiers. These are mock-up versions, but these are like printouts of the actual cards. It's actually slightly thicker than the final version will be because it's got the paper in there. Right. Comes with 6 of these foam dividers, and we built it with the future in mind, so there is tons of extra space. So I've got some extra sleeves back here, some foam dividers. Yep, this area is large enough to hold the playmat, so it will
really nice
hold your entire collection, and it's a nice sturdy.
Now these dividers are standard.
And, so it comes with dividers, and the dividers each have artwork on them. So this is the base set divider here, and they're hard plastic.
Yeah, they're hard plastic, like a credit card. Yeah.
And each one has art. So here's like the one for Frontiers, and each one has the name and the set icon at the top.
That's cool.
So it's easy to flip through, and both sides have the same on it, so it doesn't matter which way
side
you're looking at where you're looking at your box. Now this box will also come with a set of promo cards. And it'll have 8 cards for your trade deck, and it also has a new thing we've never had in Star Realms before, which has 7 tokens. So to show you what I mean, I'll show you the cards. Okay. So we have here one of the ships. So there's 2 copies of ships, and there's ships for each faction. So we've got the Blob ship here, and we've got the Trade Federation, the Star Empire, and the Machine Cult. And each of these ships has a really cool mechanic. The recovery mech, when you play it, you get 5 combat, and you can put a card from your discard pile on top of your deck. Really powerful cool. Cult ability. This one gives you 2 trade, and you can return a base to its owner's hand. So if you're near killing your opponent, you can return their outpost to their hand and finish them off. More frequently, you're going to use it to get a second use out of your own bases. So you play a base, use it, return it to your hand, play it, use it again.
Wow.
This one's really cool. So the Embassy Transport gives you 3 trade and 3 authority, so super solid card for the early and the mid game, which giving you trade and giving you authority to keep you alive. And it's got an amazing sacrifice ability. So you can sack this card to draw a card for each base that you have in play. So sometimes that'd be 1 or 2 cards, but if you get one of those scenarios where you can fill your board with bases and then play and sacrifice your.
It's really not too expensive either.
No, it's a nice starting cost. Now. The Blob one is really interesting. So it's a 4-cost ship that gives you 6 combat, and so it hits reasonably hard, but it's got these sort of strange abilities here. Put a random pod token into play, and then ally ability of hatch a pod token. So the set comes with these pod tokens. These are little 2 defense factionless bases. So when you play the Brooder, you shuffle up the pod tokens and you just slap one of these bases in play. Okay. You're not allowed to look at the back of it, and neither is your opponent. Okay. If you ally the Brooder, it'll let you hatch a pod token. Also, the pod tokens have an ally ability which works after they've been in play for a turn. So if you play the pod token and it stays in play for the turn, then on a future turn, whenever you play a blob card, you can trigger the ally ability and hatch the pod token, which means you flip it over. And when you flip it over, you get a random ship. Wow. So the most common one is the warrior drone, which gives 3 combat. So there's 3 of those in the set, and there's 2 worker drones. The worker drone gives 2 trade. Then there's 1 mutant drone, and the mutant drone lets you acquire a ship of cost 2 or less and put it directly into your hand. This could be an explorer, so worst case scenario, you're going to get 2 trade and 2 combat out of it, but obviously there could be some really cool stuff in the trade row for it. And then the most powerful one you could get is the young queen, and when you play the young queen, you draw 2 cards. So when you have the pod tokens out, you have these mysterious effects. You don't know what they're going to be, and sometimes you'll play the Brooder, you won't have an ally for it, so the pod token will be staying there in play, and then your opponent has an opportunity, if they can do 2 combat to it, take it out. They can kill it before you can use it. But if they aren't able to get the combat, or you have some outposts to protect it with, then on future turns you can ally it and trigger.
So is this only played? These pod tokens are only played on one side, or are they usable by either side?
So basically, when anyone who plays a Brooder gets a pod token. Gotcha. So there's a little stack. You get the little stack of the 7 pod tokens, and when you play when you play the Brooder, you put a pod token into play. So there's a little pile of tokens off to the side. They never get shuffled into your deck. You just shuffle them, grab one of them, put them into play. Yeah. So if you and your opponent both had a Brooder, you could both be putting the pod tokens into play. Okay. Those guys are really have a really fun little mechanic to them.
Yeah, that is cool.
And another thing that I wanted to show off was one of our commanders. So Command X is a big new thing that was in the Frontiers Kickstarter. So these people are a little familiar with the concept from Hero Realms, where we had the character packs, which let you play as a specific character. Command X are similar to that in that you're playing as a specific character, but with the character packs in Hero Realms, you are playing as a class, and you have the ability to improve them over time and sort of customize them. Yeah. With the Command X, you're playing as a legendary commander from the Star Realms universe, a specific commander who has a very specific play style, specific cards in their deck. It's not a deck that you'll improve over time. It's a super powerful commander from the Star Realms universe. So here I have the Biolord Walsh. This is red-green. Interesting side note, Steve Walsh was the very first Wizard for a Week for Star Realms. When we do Kickstarters, we frequently have a Wizard for a Week tier where people can come to White Wizard Games and basically be part of the company for a week and sort of see how things go. And we made this card in honor of our first Wizard for a Week. That's cool. These come with scorecards, so you can see that Biolord Walsh has a 6-card hand and 70 starting authority. Wow. And he has customized scorecards, either similar to the ones that we have in Hero Realms. You can see we highlighted the 70 because that's where he starts, and highlighted the 0 on the ones, so you can quickly find your starting authority. Right. Each legendary commander has 2 gambits that are unique to them. These gambits are not intended to be shuffled in with regular gambits. These gambits are specific to that commander, and they're not necessarily on the same power curve as regular gambits. The commanders were balanced with taking into mind what their starting score was, what their hand size was, exactly what their gambits did, etc.
Right.
So these gambits are designed specifically for that commander. So the Unity Warcraft, so Unity's the name of the red-green faction, and that gives all of your bases +1 defense and all your opponent's bases -1 defense. So basically, bases work a lot better for you than your opponent when you're playing this deck. And then there's there's also a sacrifice gambit. This one gives you 2 trade. It also gives you both factions. So that means it counts as you having a card of that faction in play for triggering ally abilities.
Other ally abilities.
Yeah, it's kind of like the way the heroes work.
Yeah.
And when this gambit is used, when Wallace's Stratagem is used, you get to put the next base you buy directly into play, which obviously works well with his other ability. Now, these command decks, they have 5 standard cards. They've got 4 Scouts and a Viper in them, but then the rest of the deck, which is a 12-card deck for this commander, is custom. So these are, so you can see this card has no cost. It starts in the deck. So he has 2 cards from the Cult. And you notice this one has a double ally ability. So with the Laser Drone, 2 combat. If you ally it, you'll get another 1, so up to 3. If you have yet another Machine Cult card out, you'll get all the way up to 5 combat with the Laser Drone.
That's cool.
There are some Factionless Ships in their deck which work with the faction. So this card doesn't have a faction, so this is not a Machine Cult card.
Right.
However, it does like Machine Cult cards and trigger off their abilities. So
that's cool. That's a cool ability too.
Yeah, that ability is very neat for gives you a lot of cool control options. And then he also has some block cards. Yeah, so the Swarmling and this gives you a couple combat, and if it's allied, gives you the ability to scrap a card in the trade row. Very nice for legendary commanders because when you're playing a legendary commander, you're not restricted to your colors. You can buy cards from any color, play cards from any color. However, you've got a lot of cards and abilities that work well with your colors. You would love it if the trade row matched your colors completely. So the ability to scrap cards is a pretty nice one for Walsh. And we've got the Protopod. So the commanders obviously have a lot more buying and hitting power than a standard deck. So commanders are designed to either play against another legendary commander, or you can play them against 2 players playing regular decks as a Hydra team. So so you can play 2-on-1, and here we have the Cluster Viper. So that gives you sort of a taste of what the command decks will be like.
Really cool.
And those guys are going to be the command decks are going to be $5.99, and they're going to be released in stores in August. We're going to be, if you back the Kickstarter, the cards are. Card files have been finished. We're getting them printed in the U.S. And we will shortly have a estimate from the printer on when they're going to be ready to ship out. But if you missed the Kickstarter, no problem. They're going to be available in stores in August.
Good.
And then Universal Storage Box. This one is targeted for June for retail, and obviously the Kickstarter backers will be getting them before then.
Right.
And this one's $29.99, and it comes with all the plastic dividers and those promo cards we talked about. So Star Realms Frontiers, we've already shown. A whole new deck, oversized cards with challenges where you can play solo or cooperatively against the game. We've got the 6 new command decks coming out, so you can play those against each other or against players playing regularly. and then of course the storage box. So all kinds of exciting new content coming out.
Very cool. Very cool. So this is what was the date for this again?
So this one we're targeting June for retail stores,
June. Okay,
and
June for
July for Frontiers, and August for the Command Deck. Very exciting summer for Star Realms.
Yeah,
a lot of awesome
very
stuff
cool.
coming out.
Have you got anything on the docket? I got to ask for Hero Realms.
So we do. We have we've got 2 sets in progress. We've got a new the next chapter of the campaign. So it's got 3 more encounters, and basically continues the story where Ruin of Thandar left off.
Okay, that's cool.
And then we also have a set of 4 expansion packs for the trade deck. So these will be those expansion packs will be able to be used with or without the campaign. So if you're just doing a head-to-head Hero Realms game, you'd be able to mix those packs in much like you would with Star Realms Crisis, and of course they're compatible with the campaign.
Any more character classes possibly?
Not soon enough for me to talk about, but we're going to do more character
There's a
classes.
little bit of information there. There's a tidbit. All right, cool. Yeah. Thanks so much. Well, that is everything that's coming out from White Wizard for Star Realms and a little bit for Hero Realms in the near future. Thank you, Robert, for stopping by. We appreciate it. And thank you guys for joining us. We're going to have some more of these videos popping up all over the place, so keep your eye out for those. We'll see you guys on the flip side.